Otunba Hashim Olabode Osenie. Otunba, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me, Augusta.
Okay, just briefly tell us your background, and then we can start the interview properly. Your background, especially in relation to Yoruba self.
Thank you very much. Well, I hope my age is not going to scare anybody. I was born 1947, 3rd of March, and I had my primary education in Nigeria. Now I can say I fled Nigeria in 1970 to Western Germany. I use the word fled because when I look back, I think things were not working well then. But then again, and now see 50-something years on, things are not getting better, they're even getting worse. So that's why I use the word fled. So ever since I've been living in Europe, I've been going home and coming back. I had my first university degree in Germany and the second and third one in the UK. So I'm a pensioner now. I'm retired, married with children. So, and what I've been doing most today is like spending substantial part of my time on media, and I've been, like you rightly said, broadcaster, political. I must say political and the public affairs commentator, because it's easier for me to comment on issues that I think they're not going well. So analysis in the sense that it's very difficult to find indices, because in Nigeria is the only place. And I want to challenge professors on this Zoom meeting today to tell me how did they get their indices to finalize their analysis. Because here we have a country that hardly have a properly put together census. I'll be shocked if Nigeria can prove to me that we are over 100 million. Because, sorry, again, like I said, I want to be challenged. I want to see who have counted us, because that has been a mirage. It has been a problem since 1963, I believe, that we are yet to have a proper census. And I can also understand why we've not been able to make progress, because the problem of not having a proper statistics, how do you want to plan? And when you now, everything is, in fact, to have a child in Nigeria, you need to be corrupt. You know, I was in Nigeria 2014, and I discovered that even the mouse, is friendly with the cat. I say, hello, what's going on here? So, and please do not misunderstand me. I am not sitting down here today to want it to start to say anything bad about my fatherland. It is not. This is the time to say the truth, to tell everybody the truth, to let us know that if we don't say the truth, the probability of continue to be in this same mess, we're going to get to our children, and I don't think that is the right thing. Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about the struggle for self-determination for Yoruba people. That is the Oduduwa Republic, if I'm not mistaken. What is your, like I said, what is your background towards this movement? How long have you been in this movement? How long have you been advocating for this movement? And what is your take on the current reality with this movement? Do you think it's something that is going to happen anytime soon?
Well, there's so many questions you put together, Lady Augusta. But okay, I will try to unravel them. I'll try to deal with them one by one. I hope I'll be able to remember some of them. But
I would remind you.
Thank you. But I can tell you that I happen to be one of the aggrieved, angry Nigerian who is like, we've tried, and with many others, millions of others, people in the south and southeast and middle belt and so on, that we have tried, these people have tried many times to sit down with the government of Nigeria. I don't really care now who is the president or who is not the president, but to a large number of our people, highly placed ones, those who have conscience, try to say, why don't we sit down after a marriage of about 60 years, and we discover that the development level is very, very poor. We can do better. It is during the time of this democratic government that we had that it's only Nigerian satellite that was launched at one time. That is because of the battery that they were unable to come back, and so many stories. And Nigerians in millions have to deal with ineptitude, incompetence, governance. Not only this one, we're talking of large, many years back of governance that have not produced the immediate or necessary or minimum expectation of the people. Because when you keep your people permanently poor, that means you are making provision for not to develop, and that is not an option. And I think part of that problem is what maybe part of the country sat down and put together and say, you know what, we cannot continue. More so when we could have reasonably sit down without any unnecessary demand or argument. Let us sit down, see what exactly is wrong with this project, with this country. And when you now have that continuously being denied, that we don't want to talk, based on, and when you ask them why, and they now refer you again, very arrogantly, to the Constitution that I believe is fraudulently put together, because the Constitution will have been part of what we should be talking about. That, this part of this Constitution is not working. Let us fix it. And I want to bring conscience of everybody, all people listening to me all over the world today. I want to say this. It is not fair on millions of Nigerians who are suffering. It is not fair on our people, be it anywhere. It's not even fair on the Almanjaris. When we talk of the people in South in a rural place, or in Calabar, and Owerri, or somewhere in Shaki or Ilorin, suffering, that they're human beings, but you're not treating them as such. We have a country where you want to compare what and what do you worth, and they look at themselves, they only worth maybe 1,000 naira every other 4 years, to get them to install people that will continue to abuse them, make them to degrade them. So all these are things that I can say, put together, that creates irritation, that creates anger, that creates some people like me. So, well, enough is enough. If we don't want to listen, and this problem I'm talking about is a combination of the North, South, because here we have many people who are in government who still believe that because the Constitution is working for them, the arrangement is working for them, they don't want to talk about you, Lady Augusta. I'm sorry, I don't want to use it for a bad example. You are lucky to have a job. How many of your classmates, how many of your colleagues, how many people do you know that, and the job you are doing is nothing stopping you when you finish to go into your sport Mercedes Benz, go home and get home, and all the basic things of life are provided. The countries that provide all this kind of thing, they don't do magic. They use people like you and I to work out how best to run, to generate good governance. We don't have that. So we are so denied of many things. So, and we are conscious of the fact that it is not in the Constitution. The referendum clause is not there. That is not there. This is, so many things are not there. The exclusive list, if you look at it, I think about 68, and the substantial part of it is listed to be in charge of the president, of the federal government. And no wonder, part of the problem the states are having, apart from the people running the state government, they also have their own. I can talk about that till tomorrow. But most of the reason they always say is, oh, federal government have tied our hands. We can't generate electricity. We can't even generate security. And when you take everything away from Nigerians, from people, you now ask yourself, oh, should people like me and many others sit down and fold their arms and say, well, doesn't concern me. Yoruba people will say, once my child is belly full, I don't give it down. That's not how, that's not how government is run all over the world. And people like me who come to Europe, well, don't forget about the number of years I've been around. I left Nigeria in 1970. But for those who here get their regular benefits, they enjoy life. Wow, I can wake up, I can sleep, I can travel, I can get benefits of this, benefits of that. And when my dog is even seriously sick, I can get benefits to support. The question now begs that, how long are we going to sustain this bad governance? So some people, some area now turn around and say, you know what, let us set up a kind of a protest. And protest is the entitlement of an average. They are trying to take that away from you and I, but we are saying we want to start protesting, we want to start canvassing that if you do not want us to be part of this country, because that's indirectly what they are doing. If you are not listening to us, you are indirectly, if you have a friend that's not listening to you, you might as well pack and go elsewhere. So if I don't want to see you as a stakeholder, then we might as well say, you know what, let's call it a day. And that is where exactly the problem is. That is the beginning. That is what gave birth to Yoruba people. Saying enough is enough. Yes, you're using the constitution against us. We can find a way of canvassing. We are not violent. The Yoruba agitator, in fact, it comes to a time I want to say agitators is the wrong word to describe the Yorubas who want to break away. You see, the break away may be also a little bit violent inclined. But the truth of the matter is we are canvassing to let us rearrange the marriage, what it takes to be together. So today, millions of people are now joining hands together and say the only thing we can do is to canvass, to continue to make a case for self-determination. And so far so good. We are getting there. We will continue. At least countries of this world that they've gone through similar situation, and more so when they can see, when they can measure, when they can see that we could do better. A lot of people still believe that it's the determination of how best we can do in Africa is in the hands of UK, France, and I say no. France are so civilized, they don't want you to permanently. It is the Africans, 57 countries in Africa. I want to be challenged with everybody here today, apart from maybe a little bit of Rwanda. Which African countries with all the resources? Congo has virtually everything. In Ogun State, we can feed all West African countries. But because of we are so restricted, we are so unable to do certain things, we remain like Momu countries. So let's get it right. I want to say, if it's possible, let's make it a more proactive night where we'll be open to listen to questions, to take questions from people. And so I don't know whether I've been able to answer the question. I told you, not yet, maybe when I get to 80. As it is, I don't remember everything for now, but I try to break it down to the level of our listeners and everybody. So please, next question, please. You have to unmute yourself. This moderator, I cannot hear you. Technology. You need to start the question.
Okay, thank you very much. I was trying to unmute myself. That's why. Okay, so I heard everything you said, but you did not answer the last part of the question. I said, how feasible is this Oduduwa Republic? How possible is it? Yes, I know they are. Yes, I know that there are movements for it, there are protests going on, but currently, with the current administration in power and the current realities in Nigeria, how feasible is the achievement of this Oduduwa Republic?
That's a very good question also. And I can also tell you as a little bit older Nigerian, because there are lots of people who are much, much older than me, and they are still very, very active. And I'm in touch with most of them. Well, this might not be exactly what some people want to hear, but I would say the idea of this canvassing, because I want to be careful, I don't want to use the word and so on and so forth, is to put pressure. Do not forget, we have been shortchanged many a time. The last one was 2014, when there was the opportunity of national conference. It was glamorized. It was like billions of naira were put together, spent. And then when the result came out, yeah, it was not all the problem that were addressed, but some of them were addressed that we could have started using them. That this country belongs to all of us. No one should be afraid of others. Here we have somebody who had fought, who has solution to some of the problem, but inside his heart chose not to want to celebrate one part of the country. And when it was asked that we've done so much and some part of the country, in fact, it was part of the country in the north, I say, you know what, you might as well start doing our own business ourselves. And he said, look, we can wait for each other. So he could have insisted that everybody should do their own business the way they like. Probably we're not going to be in this contraption. Then it's too late now. So the answer to your question, let me go there. The answer to your question is, we will keep this pressure. That pressure is not criminal what should be used. We will keep this pressure because we have a situation in our hands that millions of our people are suffering. We cannot continue to use the same parameter, the same yardstick to allow our children to suffer. I'll be lucky I get another 10 years. I'm lucky, that's fine. But I have grandchildren that they will come and judge me and say, what were you doing, granddad? Whether the dead will hear that or not, but the reality is people will be reading what you and I had contributed. So we cannot continue. So it might be a little bit premature. The idea of the whole business is to keep this pressure on a country that does not want to listen to others. And I don't think that is, that's not a statement that's to be seen as agitator and whatever it is. We're dealing with criminality. We're glamorizing it. We are proving it. So all I'm saying is the pressure from the Yoruba agitator, the Yoruba clamoring for a break or whatever, it will be continued. The last person we have to stand up and say, this is what we want. This is the best way forward. And mind you, if this is achieved, it's not going to be the only Yorubas. I'm sure I can imagine there are going to be millions of thousands of Northerners who will find that this is a better place to be. They want to come there. And also South and Southeast will also be willing to be part of that achievement, actualization. And that's what we are asking for. I don't think that is too much.
Okay, so you've mentioned a whole lot of problems, particularly about the problem of leadership. But remember that even if this Oduduwa Republic is achieved, then the people that is going to make up this country is still the Yorubas that are currently in Nigeria. What is the assurance that Oduduwa Republic will thrive and their leadership will be better than what we currently have in Nigeria?
Very good question. I can assure all Nigerians, and I don't want to limit it to only Yoruba. Once this new dispensation, once this new idea is actualized, of course, the changes that are paramount to good governance will be used, will be the parameter. You see, I don't want anybody to start using that as excuses that it's still going to be the same. Oh yes, of course. The constitution that will be adopted will not allow this kind of criminality that is going in governance in Nigeria. I can say that for free.
Okay, so we have some hands up. Remember that you can join the conversation simply by raising up your digital hand, and I will try to accommodate you as much as time permits. I can see some hands up. Let's take this. I can see Mohammed Ali Baba. Mohammed Ali Baba.
Yeah.
Yeah, the platform is yours. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I really think these fringe groups are actually very diversionary. I'm glad that the speaker listed the short inadequacies that current Nigeria has. But you see, locating the solution in an ethnic enclave is, I think, permit me to use the word, is delusional. It's a living in denial, because there is no, all the so-called, the ethnic groups where we have fringe groups like theirs agitating has not shown, just like rightly even asked, that they are any better than any other part. They are still the same people. And even when you migrate to any state, whether whatever, these same people will inherit it. And since they are not falling from heaven, and that you can't give what you don't have, how is it likely, just like rightly as the mere fact that they have a new country, that it will suddenly transform into an El Dorado? After all, there's a saying that the hood makes not the monk, but the person inside. And it's also been established that your attitude determines your altitude. So I think this.
I think the network.
I think network just, but I think we got the gist of what he's saying.
Yes,
He's just asking the same. He's asking the same question. Do you want to react to that?
Yes.
I
think it's back.
It's
back.
Go ahead, Otunba. Go ahead, Otunba.
Well, let me thank Mohammed Ali Baba. I'm sure the contribution he's making is like to, number one, to think what the Yorubas are doing is not in order, and also that the fear of remaining eventually the same way where Nigerians, what Nigerians are going through today, or where Nigeria is in the League of Nations that are humiliating, degrading, making life impossible for their people, will be the same thing in the other country. And I will say here we have to wait, because I've just said it, that the transformation that is going to take place in the new nation, when the Yoruba nation actualized, it's just not going to be the same thing, because there'll be a people's constitution, a constitution that will make life better the way I'm enjoying it in Europe. I get benefit virtually of everything, and I've not come across a monk, to use this. I've not come across the Babalawos or Onifa people who will fast. I've not come across pastors dictating how a country should look like. And it's a country of men. It's not a country of men, sorry. It's a country of laws. And I'm sure Mr. Muhammad will have lived Nigeria at one time, gone to countries outside the country, and I will have seen that things are not the same as it is in Nigeria. So the thinking that when the country eventually get liberated or whatever, it's going to be the same thing. I don't want to use the word delusion. Maybe he's the one that is not thinking that better life is possible elsewhere.
Okay, so remember that some countries have fought this civil war. No, I'm not saying Nigeria is going to fight a civil war, but some countries have been divided based on their orientation. We have South Korea and North Korea. We have South Sudan and Sudan. Like I asked before, you just mentioned only the Constitution as an assurance, saying that the Constitution is going to be for the people. Is Yoruba land, current Yoruba land, and maybe Oduduwa Republic, is it stable enough? Does it have the territories, the people, the resources enough to make it a country that will thrive? especially on the international scene? Do you think that Oduduwa Republic, future Oduduwa Republic, is stable enough to thrive and not go through the hardships that most of these countries are divided along different orientation, especially ethnic orientation, are facing now? Do you think Oduduwa Republic can do that?
We will. I have no doubt in my mind, putting together the resources, the human resources, the mineral resources. In my opening speech, I said to you, the resources that is endowed in Ogun State, Ogun State in Nigeria, let's put it simple, is more than enough that can be used. I grew up with Awolowo, and I was also a member of his personal something. And I still remember that there was a time in 1980 when we went to a place in Kwale. That place is called in Kwale. Kwale. There's no leaf in Kwale that is not medicinal. And I remember Awolowo saying all the pharmaceutical, all the medicinal business with the headquarters is going to be in Kwale. That was great. And truly, there's people who are here today, I want them to challenge me. Kwale is so blessed with all leaves. They're all medicinal for different kind of problems. So now the management. The problem has always been the management. And like I said, even if you look at the brains that are being wasted in Nigeria, and when you look at the brains that are being used for good causes elsewhere in Europe, you now have to start to ask yourself, why is this so? And you also asked me a question, the problems. I'm sure you must have got education, otherwise you have to be one of those running after to say, probably will not employ you. You're not going to say because everybody's not getting a job, and then you will not send your children to school. We are talking about where opportunities have been denied. Millions of our people. We cannot continue to fold our arms, whether you are south, southeast, or whatever, to allow that to continue to go on. That is the issue here. The issue here is we see injustice, we need to deal with it. Somebody needs to stand up, because we have a situation where people have been permanently left in poverty. The chances of getting them out of poverty is not encouraged, because an average politician is rent-seeking politician. He's more interested in continuing to be re-elected and re-elected, and as long as he's being re-elected, he has his whatever million they take home in a month, and he doesn't care with 18,000 naira that governments are still owing the ordinary poor man. So the situation is all this is boiled down to injustice. We need to deal with injustice. We cannot continue. Even our problem is, the question is, are we really spiritually developed? That when I see bad things, I cannot identify it, or when I see bad things, I can afford to go, or when I'm made a commissioner, I can sit in my car, and on my way home, 3 villages have no light, but when I get home, I can call my guard, put on the Rolls-Royce generator, I can watch BBC and have my children eating bread and butter and sleep in air conditioner homes or whatever. But I don't care what's happening in South Kaduna. Religion, nobody will ever complain. In Europe, nobody has ever marginalized. Whether you come from Peru, you come from Thailand, whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, whatever it is, people are not marginalized. We are the one that is marginalizing ourselves. Those are the issues.
Okay, so let's take Dr. Shoko. I can see your hand up. Dr. Shoko, if you're here,
I'm here. Good afternoon.
Okay, the platform is yours.
Good afternoon. I just want to make my comment in 2 folds, because it's obvious that all of this agitation coming from the east and western part of Nigeria is because of the inefficiency of the leadership of Nigeria over the years. And again, we can say that the agitation, in my opinion, the agitation you see in the eastern part of Nigeria, in terms of reasons, is different from what we are seeing in the West. In the East, we can say for sure that we've seen series of treatments and statements made against them that show some level of hatred coming from the federal government. But we cannot say the same to the West. So now, that now gives me room to speak about another thing regarding the West. The issue in the West is that of poor governance. Are the West actually providing for their people the way it should? Poor governance cannot equate to good agitation and good independence. You can have independence and not lead your people the right way, because the key issue here is how can we transform the Yoruba people from the level of poverty that they have right now to a level where you can say an average Yoruba man is living very well. Look at your states. The government in all the states in the Yoruba land, they are very selfish in their governance. Even if you have independence today, you have still not solved that problem. So now, do you have a vision, a leader with vision that is ready to transform to what it ought to be? This is what the groundwork that is expected of a nation that wants to that wants to live from Nigeria. You do not have all of that on ground, and all you're saying now is that you want to leave. The Igboho, who are very close to the poorest of Yoruba land, they have a genuine reason why they want to leave. But what about political elites like yourself, Otunba, who is living in Europe? What is your own agenda? Is it like that of Igboho, who has to come out to confront the government that, look, we want to leave because of these reasons? You do not have your reasons coming out from books and news, and you think you're agitating. You need to be on ground. You need to be on ground to see how you can be able to do some of these things. You stay abroad since 1970, and then you say you want to take people out. You don't even know what is going on right there, right now. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Shiokpo. Thank you very much. Let's allow Otunba to react.
Yeah.
Otunba. Otunba. Otunba, if you're here, kindly react to what Dr. Shiokpo has said.
Oh, thank you very much, technology. I heard all what you said. Wonderful.
Okay.
But I can tell also, doctor, let me use that. I don't want to mispronounce your name. We in diaspora, we see more than what you people in Nigeria even see. And no wonder that substantial money that's coming from us is to sustain this incompetent government. I'm not being rude. We in diaspora contribute a large amount of money to sustain everybody, to sustain most of our families in Nigeria. So the question does not arise whether I've been in Europe since 1970, blah, blah, blah. That does not remove the pains. That does not remove the anger. That, in fact, I'm happy that I'm here, because otherwise, if I had to be restricted to Ota or somewhere in Ibadan, I don't know that the last almost 40 years, there's no dam, there's no treatment to Gopa. The way to Imo, and some of the one of the states in Nigeria, Abia State, collects more refuse than any other state in Nigeria. And we can see this. And as you can see, the Europeans, the Western world, they know more than what you and I know. Even with our PhD, with our professor chairs and others, they know. So we learn from that. We know what is going on. Oh, do we need to go back to school to see that we have a constitution that is not supportive for people to grow? Do we need extra education on that? No. Do we need to see that our children are being denied of education? No. Do we know that we don't have good roads? Do we know that there are lights? There are basic things that anybody can see. No wonder when a woman comes from either from Canada or from European countries, they quickly from the airport, they can see which kind of airport is this. dog died and get a national honor, a national burial. So hello, let us get it right.
Okay.
Yeah, go on, Lady Augusta. For example.
Ike Wosu. Okay, you're here. Okay, Ike Wosu is.
You need to.
I raised my hand before him.
Yeah, okay.
Good, okay.
Good evening.
Doctor, they come to you, please.
Can I go on? Can I?
Augusta, go on. Ike Wosu is not here, so go on.
I'm here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, viewers, and our friend Otunba, who might be my next neighbor. I say Guten Abend.
Guten Abend, if he gets there.
Good. So I have something to ask. In Yoruba land, it seems the allies are the one that is in the forefront for this agitation, or whatever name they want to give it, than the younger ones. Unlike in the East, our allies are sleeping and the younger ones are doing the pushing. So, and I think the older ones in Yoruba land, they can speak the grammar, but Nigeria don't hear grammar. They need force. And the younger ones in Yoruba land, they are not forceful. So how do we do this? Most of the times we come up with some shooting, like supporting them, but still they are not following Igboho here, there. It's not what Nigeria, they just want to see something that will push them around. I mean, the Nigerian government. That is for you. And my friend from the Alibaba, Muhammad Alibaba, now he's against giving this tribal coronation. So what do he want us to give it? Because the people killing people, the Nigerians are not at war with each other. We have a special, certain tribe killing others. Maybe it's maybe he's Hausa. Then these people started killing Hausas. And now they're killing down to the east. What do we do? Or do we say Igbo man must fight because they are killing Igbos? Yoruba man must fight because they are killing Yoruba? Or is he not seeing it? So I don't know where he's coming with his arguments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I allow Otunba to react, kindly remember to lower your hands when I have called you and you have your contribution, so that I will not call you again. Otunba.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am very happy to hear the contribution of Nse. I will take him back. And this is part of what I'm talking about. That when you create so much bottlenecks, when you create so much problems for your people, you're not going to progress. And we cannot continue to see a country like Nigeria that is so endowed with brilliant brains. Our own Nigerian born, our own Nigerian citizen is the Secretary of State for Finance in America. Our Nigerians are occupying beautiful, enviable positions all over the world. When I got to Germany, I said it was Western Germany. But Germans now think it fit. Forget about the policy or whatever, that they should merge. After 30 years of when Germany was capitulated, they revamped, they come together again, and one of the strongest economy in the whole world. Look, let us talk, let us be real here. Let us be human in our discussion. Let us take the control of our brain to know that what we are talking about is not other politics. We're talking of how well are we running ourselves? How are we governing ourselves? How can we continue to be in a place where freedom is not allowed to thrive, where economy is being managed by less than 6%? And I'm not making any excuses for anybody. I want you to get it right. No excuses for whether, and I said it. The Almangaris, they're entitled to a better life. When you look at millions, thousands of people that are displaced, when you look at some houses that are burnt in the north, the question is, will you have allowed my dog to live in that kind of a place? Let's be real. These are issues we need to talk about. It's nothing to do whether you're Yoruba, Hausa, Takwa, or anything. The way an average Nigerian is being treated, it is so shabby, it is so degrading. And some people somehow will have to stand up. The contribution of the dog, well, it's okay, fine. Make his point known. And also the contribution of is Alhaji Muhammad Ali Baba or whatever. It's also tell us that the thinking, our thinking is not the same and cannot be the same. All I'm saying is the Northerners, they are being even more deprived, but it is their own way, it is the way they want to do their things. Those who want to, some of us who doesn't want to continue, we are speaking up. We are talking that this is not right, and we cannot allow this to continue. So
okay, so let's listen. Let's hear from Dr. Wezegwe. Doctor.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much, Otunba.
Thank you, sir.
Interestingly, you gave a very nice analysis, although not in depth.
Platform is yours.
Yes, I am not. You see, I often like to speak as a professional historian without sentiments. And let me say it, pump and clear. My regret in Yoruba land is the death of Dr. Frederick Fashion, the OPC leader. Because, yes, I was with him and everything about leadership, about cessation of Yoruba land was, the framework was down at that time. Common economic unity is still operating. The Odua Investment Corporation established by Awolowo is still there, thriving as a profitable venture. Yeah. Now, let me say something. In 1953, during the London Conference that came up in August after the constitutional crisis, when Anthony Nahoro moved motion for independence, yes, and then Southern and other Northerners walked out, and then there was now, because of it, by April there was a riot in Kano when Akintola wanted to go to campaign, and Igbo people were massacred there. During the constitutional conference, ANC and NCNC and Action Group presented a common memorandum. MPC presented their memorandum, and MPC memorandum was for secession. You see, the British archive, they've released this thing. They've released the documents. So you can research, you can go and bring out what I'm telling you. The Northerners actually demanded, NPC demanded for secession with only a loose federal coordination of defense and external affairs. That was the moment. It was the British government that said, these are our friends. If you accept it, then Lagos Port, you lose Lagos Port. And remember, before 1953, Lagos was part of Western region. And that was why in 1951 election, Azikiwe contested in Lagos for Western regional government. Yes. It was after that 1953 Congress, that 1953 Constitutional Conference, that the next constitution that came up excised Lagos from Western region. And that was with great, with serious protest from Awolowo and other people. And then went ahead and appointed Yaradua as administrator of Lagos Capital Territory. I'm now trying to tell you that when we are talking about secession, it was the Northerners that actually initiated it. At that time, because they did not want to lose, they initiated it and then later opposed it through the British government because of Lagos. Now they are not wanting secession because of what? Because of oil. These are the two factors. These are the things. If you are talking of viability, I've been to nearly all West African countries. I've been to Central Africa, I've been to Cameroon, and presently I'm speaking for an East African country. And I'm telling you that a single state in Nigeria is more, has more resources than most of these countries. Everything has to do with discipline and management, and not primitive accumulation of the scarce resources of the people. Now, if you are talking of people, somebody talking about ethnic, it's mark of, I don't know, I don't want to be insultive. There is mark of ignorance, infantile ignorance, for somebody to come and talk about ethnic profiling, religious profiling. Where right from time, Nigeria is built on the crucibles of ethnic and religious conflicts. And we are still suffering from the heat of that crucible today. And that is the basis of our problem. And somebody will come and tell you ethnic profile. I see that as insulting. And let me bring some people talking about the impossibility of secession. Let me bring them back to the Constitution, guiding even the 1959 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that established the four regions, the three regions. The three regions were developing at their own pace. And by far, people are talking about Eastern region being fastest economy. The Western region, of which I was a part as an Igbo man from present Delta State, was developing very fast. Awolowo was managing their resources perfectly. Only from the resources, first television station came. From the resources, Cocoa House, the tallest building in Africa then, came up. From the resources, the action group was able to do what? To introduce free education at all levels. And I know some of my teachers, even at the University of Nigeria, who were from the East, who benefited from free education, which was also inherited by Midwest region when it was created. And I'm also telling you that even during Awolowo's time, because of crisis of religion, he even established local authority schools in every community, particularly run by the local government. So those people who are being, who are being stigmatized for not being either Roman Catholic or Protestant, you can be employed or go to local LOA schools. So, and that framework has been there. And I'm not telling you that I've been to Togo, I've been to Sierra Leone, I've been to Guinea, the two Guineas. I've been to Liberia. My own state, Delta State, is richer than these countries. So it's not a question of inability or inability to manage. When the chips are down, people will be forced to manage it. And people are talking about the Yoruba elites engaging in battle, and then the Igbo elites not engaging. The Yoruba system is very, very clear. The Awolowo created what is called ethnic nationalism. That ethnic nationalism made your identity, your culture as a Yoruba man, to be above your religious affiliation. I know I was part of OPC under Hashim. If you're an OPC, you did not mention whether you're a Muslim or a Christian. In fact, the Muslims in OPC were the most radical parts there. I'm not telling you, and you see, the first chairman, the first national chairman of APC, first governor of Osun State, I've forgotten his name. You find that I never knew he was a Muslim until recently. Nobody knows the religion of the denomination of Bolaige. Under Awolowo's training, it was very difficult to identify any Yoruba leader by religion until Tinubu came. It was Tinubu who actually disorganized Yoruba through NASFAT, of which he used Areboshola. So I believe that the major problem the Yoruba land have now is Ahmed Tinubu, who is playing the same role Abiola played, who is also playing the same role Akintola played, who is playing the same role Afonja played. And definitely, I fear he will also end up the way those people ended up. Thank you. Let me stop here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Wezigbe. Commissioner Said, if you do not mind, can you react to his comments?
Okay, thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity. The last speaker has spoken very well, and I respect his opinion, and I also hope he will reciprocate. On the issue he raised, although I came late, but I met him discussing on a crucial issue. The Northerners are afraid of secession. Thus, he made mention that the Northerners are afraid of secession and are totally against it. That's not true. Actually, are the one who doesn't mean business. Of recent, the coalition of Northern Group, CNG, under Nastura Sharif, sued the National Assembly to halt constitutional review and focus on referendum. And this is all over the news. We are currently in court on this issue. We want everything to be stopped and let's focus on the issue of referendum. And it is the Northerners under the gaze of the coalition of Northern Group that took the National Assembly to court. So I see nothing, the North has nothing to lose if we are to go our separate ways. And he made mention that the Northerners are afraid of the separation because of oil. Now, is the Southwest having any oil to depend on? It doesn't. The entire Southeast, there is no oil. There is no crude oil. Now, the Southeast, is there any oil also? There is no oil in the Southeast. In the entire Southeast, there is nothing like oil. The oil belongs to the South. So, and even the South are not even calling for the cessation. Only the Southwest and the Southeast are calling for the cessation. We, the Northerners, are not afraid of any form of cessation because we have nothing to lose in this cessation. And if you truly mean business, if you are truly calling for cessation, what has your political leaders, I mean the governors, the senators, the members of the National Assembly, what have they done? Is there any of your leader that stand at the plenary session at the Senate or House of Assembly and call for referendum? You know, this is to tell you that all you are calling for is a mirage. It has no element of truth. You brought these people onto power. You brought your governors onto power. You brought the senators and members of the reps. But none of them had ever stood, you know, on the floor of the National Assembly and called for referendum. So it means you are lying. You don't mean business. If you really mean business, then make sure now Femi Bajamiela, he is the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Force him to call for referendum if you mean business. If he refused, then recall him, follow the constitutional process and recall him back. We have so many people in governance. Now, your ministers, there are so many ministers that are Igbo. There are so many ministers that are Yorubas. Have they ever called for a referendum in the next national executive meeting of the Federation? They have never. In fact, most of them are against it. So what do you have to tell us to convince us that you really mean business, that it is the Northerners? Obasanjo was a president for 8 years. Jonathan was a president for 6 years. Why didn't you push for the agenda of referendum if you really mean business? This is to tell you that you are all lying. You are not saying the fact. And if you think there is anything the North will lose, please keep pushing for referendum. We are in support of you 100%, and we are currently in the court of law, federal court, pushing for that agenda. I will forward the link in the comment section after I finish speaking. Yes, for you to verify all what I am saying. We are currently, and we will never back up. But we just want to prove you wrong, that we are not against this separation. However, my belief is united we stand, divided we fall. But in a situation whereby all of us, the Southwest want to go their own way, the South is one, then fine and good. Let's go, let's do it. But let's do it peacefully in a democratic manner. We shouldn't be calling ourselves names. We shouldn't be calling ourselves names or using some bigotry statement on one another. Don't forget that even when we are separated, there are a lot of issues that may join us together. How many Yoruba people are married to Hausa women? How many Hausa men are married to Igbo ladies? So these are things that has already brought us together. So even when we are separated, this bond continues. But when we are to separate, we shouldn't be calling ourselves names or be beating the drums of war. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Sani Said. Because of time, I'm just going to call the next hand I can see here. Elder Tango Ugochukwu. Your hand is up. If it's a question, then Otunba can answer. But for now, I think it's just contributions that we are making. Okay, please make your contribution.
Okay, thank you. My contribution is that anytime Said come online, he draws some instances that is always at times he look different and not all that he said now is wrong, but for him to authentically say that Southeast didn't have oil, what is your proof? Southeast didn't have oil. You have no proof backing it. Oil. Yeah, what said that because some things he said is okay, but at times you go wrong. Separation is not do or die issue. If system doesn't work all over the world, if Nigeria is separate or disintegrate, it's not the first place in the world. It has happened many places in the world, even in Africa, and they manage it. So what we do is that point I pick in his word is that the leaders must hold accountable, yes. But the system that brings the leader cannot allow accountability. Most of them come through Godfather. Even for we both appoint our Ohaneze, is Ohaneze our choice? They will give us who they want, who they can work with, who they can do this with. So the problem we need is that if Nigeria doesn't want to separate, we have a weak federal, a weak central. Regional will be okay, because if things are okay, if there's water in the house, light, food on the table, people will not agitate. But enjoyment ended with some circle of people, recycling themselves with the same system. So for you to come up now and turning tribal religion, because the weapon people don't know. I don't know it's lack of news or education. Even some people more educated, more novice they become. Education, tribalism only come when they have problem. When they are enjoying, they don't know you. If Hausa man is so poor, Hausa are suffering. Poor the majority is suffering. Poor Yoruba are suffering. It's a clique in that tribe. The same thing with Igbo. I always look at an Igbo man. I look at Igbo man when he says I'm an Igbo. I go back to his record. One said it. I challenge him. Say no. It's now you know you are Igbo. When they are okay, they don't. If Nigeria will change their mind, we focus that because even America that introduced constitution to the world are still doing amendment. But these people refuse amendment. They refuse anything. They put quota system. Quota system. Which country in this world you will bring quota system? Now, Tango is not a daughter. But quota system reach my tribe to bring a daughter. They bring me. You have committee mother. Because quota system bring me. So the progress is not there. Many things have happened in Nigeria that we would have learned. There's a time a tribe play ball, we continue carrying cup. The cup come in the name of Nigeria. It didn't come in the name of Igbo or people that play the football. If Nigeria want to develop, free competition, monopoly will stop, religion will be controlled. Religion is more serious because in religion, deal with faith and the mind. When they give their faith, they can't take the faith back. Even some pastors are more powerful because the wife listen, or their wife in the house listen to daddy in the church. What we are saying is because the woman have been brainwashed, is looking at you as an evil man. This is what happened in Nigeria. Most of the people are brainwashed already. The politicians know how to play the game. Once they have problem, they push it to tribal religion. But we in Nigeria should reason that this world is a place that people come for a while. Take examples from Europe, Yugoslavia. They fought war, Muslim, Christian, people fought, they share them. Even German share, Austria go, they go. Eastern Germany go, West go. But they still having their feeling. When the West were developing, East we are suffering. The East feel this is our brother. The Eastern Germany went back, the rich one went back to the poor one. You are our brother, your condition is not good. Let's come back. They do unification. Go to East now, it's happening. Everywhere, that's changing. So Nigeria should learn. But when you get up talking with sentiment, Hausa Igbo man, this somebody will forming forum, they give they bankroll them, somebody will carry microphone, say whatever he like. It's wrong because you look, there's no ideology or way out. Yorubas have their right to say whether they want to stay or not. Hausa have their right to, Igbo have their right. Because the reason of it is that the system is not working. If the system works, people will not agitate. So instead of looking for solution for the system, election is not free, nothing is free. People's votes are not counted. And in Nigeria, in a system, you can kill whoever you want to kill and get away with it. If not, thank God because of this smart news, social media. If people say it brings corruption, but it helped. Many people were killed unnoticed. But now, whatever you do somebody now, some people will report it, the whole world will see it. So social media help Nigeria. Nigeria will be like, but why do you know the first sin I will commit? To educate the North, let's educate the North. What is because the people that keep Adamajere know is their potential fighter, their potential weapon. They keep them so to use them to do Tawai. When Tawai come, Tawai is trouble in Hausa language. To do Tawai. When time of trouble, they will use those Adamajere as a weapon. Why their own children, their own blood, biological children, America, Dubai, everywhere, living good life. They make this Sharia law for the poor, not for the rich. Have you seen any rich Hausa man, they cut his hand? See how their young girls dress. See how they dress. You will see their breasts, everything. But if a poor Hausa girl dress like that in the street, they say Aram. That's forbidden. So the system, people will fight into this injustice. Injustice is in the east, is in the south, is in the north. But when we put sentiment, we won't get our goal. Because even now, I believe that there's many victims in the north. Hausa people suffered. I know the geography of Nigeria. I go around the whole Nigeria. We know who are the Hausas. I don't know the Baushes. Baushes, how many of them? But the Hausas are not talking. You go to many tribes, even we're talking of tribe. Look, now, you as from north, I tell you, where is that start in the map? Divide the root system. South. Okay. Second.
Round up.
South issue is a political weapon. Divide the people and rule them. Even if you share family for family, I know that there can still be the problem. But let us have a roadmap where we are going. But going personal, tribal is uncalled. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elder Tango. You did not make any question. You made contributions, so I don't think Otunba needs to react. Let's call the next person. On my list, the next person is Son of Light Medallion Grace. Son of Light, remember to be very brief because I still have about 8 hands up and we have extended the time because everybody should be allowed to speak. But please remember to make your submissions as brief as possible. Son of Light, if you're not here, I'm going to call the next person.
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening to me. Here is what happened. Comrade, is it Comrade Sonny?
Comrade Sonny Said.
Yeah. he said that there are no resources, both solid and liquid mineral, in the southeast and the southwest. Well, that's his own faith. That's what he believes. That's what he believes. And I won't say much about that. You understand? But he should stop this kind of, he should stop trying to put it to us that he's psychologically putting it to everyone that should we say we want to divide, that we're asking for what? You understand? This is exactly what he's telling us. This is exactly what I understand him saying. You understand? So what is there? You people, you came to our land, you brought people to our land to come devour us, to come start doing all sort of things in our land, and nobody says anything. If we talk, you say they should arrest us. You put these people on the street to bring AK-47 to come and do all sort of things. You understand? Nobody can talk. Should we talk now? They will say this one, they will say that one. Okay, to me, I believe Nigeria is not, there's nothing like democracy going on in Nigeria. It's nothing but dictatorship. That's exactly what is going on in Nigeria. It's so pragmatic. Do you understand? It's so pragmatic. So should we check it? What is there? You run in dictatorship, you're imposing laws on us. You made everything, start tying everything for us. That, okay, they should do this, they should do that. If we talk, you say they should arrest us. Should the Igbo man hold a cutlass in the street, they will say they should arrest him. Should the Yoruba man hold his cutlass in the street, they will say they should arrest him. Why by Fulanis are walking with AK-47 in the street and they did nothing to them? We agitating, you said, oh, the agitation. Somebody even said here that people that are agitating, they are talking from abroad. Do you even know the kind of strength that we put in this to work? If you are here, you will cry for those home. We feel the heat that people in Nigeria feel. We feel the heat of our own people more than our own people out there, inside there. We feel the heat. So we know what we are doing. He should stop all this kind of, what's he trying to say? Is he trying to say that if we say we want to divide we don't have resources? So you're telling us that we don't have resources, we cannot go? Fine, should that be what you believe? Fine, let's do it. Let everybody go. We are going. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Son of Light, Medallion Grace.
Please. To me, I believe Nigeria is one-sided coin. You flip it to the front, it's Fulani man. You flip it to the back, it's Fulani man. That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Son of Light, Medallion Grace. There was no question there, so I'm just going to move on to the next person. Mazi Okoye, your hand is up. You are the next person on my list.
Well,
please remember to keep it as brief as possible.
I'll try and be as brief as I can. Thank you anyway, Augusta.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Mr. Otunba, and I can see Dr. Wesigwe has joined us as well. It's good to see Dr. Wesigwe. Let me make a few statements before I give my opinion. The first is that I'll grant the agitators a few things. Nigeria is not working. That I can grant the agitators. And it hasn't worked. That also I can grant people. The second thing is that you have the right to agitate for whatever you want to agitate, for a separate nation, if you want to. Now, let's correct a few impressions. Some language used by agitators. For example, Dr. Otunba said that the marriage is not working. Nigeria is not a marriage. I think the analogy is out of place and should not be used as a basis or justification for the agitation, because Nigeria is not a marriage. Now, my observation and opinion is this. This latest agitation, to my mind, is a distraction and counterproductive the way people are going about it. In fact, I think most of these agitating units is doing it because it's now expedient to agitate. It's now fashionable to agitate. But Nigeria didn't all of a sudden emerge the way it is today. Nigeria has been very bad in the last 30, even from inception, Nigeria has been bad. So this latest agitation, I believe, is, to my mind, is because a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon, and again, naturally, people and nature suggest that we always try to follow the path of least resistance. And what do people do? They simply rush to the simplest solution, and which is, okay, break it all up, let everybody go home, let everybody go their separate ways, let us dissolve it like we dissolve marriage. But Nigeria is not a marriage. So I think that we should buckle down, as I always say, and so come to realize that our problem can only be solved politically. If you don't realize this, you're still distracting people. You're prolonging the suffering of the people. There is injustice in Nigeria. Injustice can be solved in Nigeria if the people comes together and pressure the elected officials to do the right thing. To do the right thing instead of going for this simplistic, the amount of energy that these agitators have put into breaking up Nigeria, if they actually put half of it in fighting for equity and justice in Nigeria, Nigeria would not remain the same. However, what do? They try to distract people, wasting people's time, and saying all manner of things that doesn't actually make any sense. Hoping that one day, the people that are expecting that they are calling all these evil names will turn around and give them referendum as they want it, instead of them coming to the political arena and fight it out with them. Coming to the political arena. Why are you so afraid of coming into the political arena? Why? What scares you, people?
Okay, thank you very much, Mazi Okoye. I will call the next person because there's no direct question to Otunba yet. Oluwa, sorry, just permit me to check that name again. Oluwaseyi Olayonde. Oluwaseyi Olayonde. The platform is yours. Oluwaseyi, you are muted. Let me try to unmute you.
All right, Sheyi for short is fine.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right.
And please, just before you speak, remember that if you have spoken, kindly lower your hand so that I would know not to call you again. Oluwaseyi, go ahead.
Okay, I'll do that later. Right, thank you so much. Good evening, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I just want to appreciate Comrade Sonny for his contribution. And but I just want to let him understand that, because he raised some pertinent question or observation about Yoruba. I would just say, let me just say, certain political leaders or Yoruba political leaders. What I want him to realize is that there's a great gulf or a great disconnect between the populace and the politicians. So I think, because he was saying that why can't we discuss? He's not heard anybody, either the governors or the National Assembly members saying something with regards to that. I can tell you that some of them may not be bold enough to come out in the public space, which I've accused them of. But the thing is that they know what is happening, but they are looking at what's going to happen. So the Yoruba political elite, we see them as part of the Nigerian problem. So that's why you see them not say anything and keeping quiet. So recalling them, talking to them, we have realized that we not do anything as of now. Maybe when they see the way the country is drifting, maybe they will not come back home, they will come back to their senses. So that's but because you have not seen them saying something doesn't mean, oh, the people doesn't know what they want. Yorubas know what they want. I can tell you that Yorubas, we know what we want. We have sat down and analyzed the situation, and we've realized that whether a Yoruba man becomes a president, it doesn't change the fact that Nigeria is not going to work. Nigeria is not going to work. And someone was saying, join the political movement. The political movement is not going to work. There's a structural problem, foundational problem that Nigeria has. Nobody's talking about that. We just keep on patching up, patching it, patching. That's why things are not working. You can't be patching a dilapidated building that is about to collapse. It's going to collapse. And that's what we are seeing right now. Too many things are coming up. Too many issues are coming up every day. We keep on behaving as if, oh, election will solve the problem. New political areas, they won't solve the problem because the problems are fundamental. And nobody's saying we have a problem. The constitution is a problem. The structures, the practice, the system of God we are practicing it won't work. It makes people redundant. It makes people unemployed. It makes people getting poorer and poorer. So, Community said something finally. He said, even if we go different ways, I like that. So some people don't understand what is going on. And he summed it up very well. He said, even if we go different ways, we'll still do things together, which is very, very good. Going different ways doesn't mean we won't have economic things together, we won't share ideas. No. But we want to have our own different countries, like every country all over the world. We go to Sweden, they are small countries, Belgium, Norway, they are small countries, and they are living fine. So why can't we do that? Malaysia and Singapore were countries before. They've gone different ways. They still have impacts together. Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, they were all one country before. They live peacefully together today. Why can't we do that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to call on the next person, Kande. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Abani Kanda Jamyu Babatunde. If you're here, the platform is yours.
Good evening. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you, my sister. Now, I don't have questions to ask, but I just want to ask to the things one of my brothers said that this man, this brother Osenie, and he said that we Yoruba, even if we say that we want to go to a separate way, we don't have the resources, and we don't have, which one of my brothers respond to him back. But I don't want to say anything about that again because there are many of my brothers that respond to him back. So, and that is the point, that is the fact, and we know what we want. But about the one of my brothers that said that agitation in Yoruba land is not like the way Igbo agitate for their own freedom. Say in the East, they are the minority that is a campaign for the self-determination, and the majority is not seeing anything. In the West here, the majority is calling for they don't say anything, and the minority don't say anything, and the majority is the one that's calling for the self-determination.
Babatunde, excuse me,
Hello?
Let me correct that. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The former speaker said that in the East, the people campaigning are the younger generation, not the majority or minority.
Sorry.
Then
sorry,
he
that is what I mean. That is
okay,
what I mean.
please go
Maybe
ahead.
I missed.
All right.
Okay. You see, in the Southwest here, the politicians that we have in the Southwest, they know how to play their game. And they are the one that brainwash all the people, or even all the youth that in the Southwest there. I'm a youth, but I know what I want, and not every youth that is in the Southwest here know what they want. And some youth, they want something to be done for them. They don't know how to approach it. Most of them, they like good things, but they can't fight for it. And my own advice to my brothers, as in to my youth brothers and sisters, they should know how to fight for themselves, because we can't just be quiet, don't say anything, leave all those things to the people that is in abroad to be fighting for us. We need to be fighting for ourselves here in Nigeria, because we are the one that's living inside this Nigeria now. And we know what we are facing every day. We know what we are facing every day. But all those politicians, they know how to turn their brain when election comes. They will give them 200 naira, 500 naira, and they know that they will come for them, they will vote for them. I don't vote. But I just want them to know what they are doing. And all my brothers, all my Yoruba fathers and mothers are fighting for this self-determination for we youth that is coming out, for we generation that is coming now. I want them to fight for it, because I want them to be helping us, as in to not back down on this struggle, to just be doing this thing for us, and God will help us through.
Thank you very much,
So
Babatunde. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Ojo Oluwafemi. Ojo Oluwafemi, if you're here, the platform is yours. If you're not here, I'm going to move on to the next person. Ojo Oluwafemi. Okay, so I would call...
Hello, am I
yes,
there?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. I must appreciate everybody for this meeting this evening.
Can you settle down first? Can you settle down?
Yeah,
because your video is shaking.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And can you put your camera in a horizontal form?
Okay.
Okay, better. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I'm happy to be here. I am talking from Lagos. I am from the state. I heard some of the contributions and the people that have spoken earlier. At the same time, I want to also say that there are some things that have been said here this evening that is not what we are seeing outside there. My brother that spoke from the northern part said some things which is not what we want, because we are asking for self-determination, and some people came up on here, even on television, telling us that the Fulani own the country, that everywhere belongs to them. So the people that have been living in their land, where are they going to stay when they claim that everywhere belongs to them? In the olden days, when I was small, I used to go to farm with my father. And I remember that Fulanis, they used to go with their cattle around. They don't harm anybody. But what we are seeing today, if you are in the farm and you challenge them for anything, they will strike whatever with them on you. So what are we talking about? So we got to know that this Fulani has been given power to go around anywhere they go, that the land belongs to them. So all these things should not be an orientation for them to claim that wherever they go, the land belongs to them. If they know this place belongs to people, they will not be behaving the way they are behaving now.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
are you
sorry.
done?
No, just a minute more.
Okay.
Then there one thing that was said. When the youth came out for agitation, we know what is good. Some of us have traveled outside the country, we see things there. So we can't come to our own country and be seeing something different and we'll be happy and we cannot talk. When there is freedom of speech, I think freedom of speech is meant for everybody to express whatever that is bothering them, whatever that can affect them psychologically. If we see how people are being killed, none of us will be happy. People naked and they slaughter them live. People in the farm, they butcher them, just like cow or cattle in the bush. So all these things are the things that are done by the northerners, which invited the foreigners militants. Because if you see the way these people are going, you will understand the fact that it's no more in the north again, it's everywhere now in the country. They want to take over the country from us. In the middle belt, we see what is happening there. If you cannot defend yourself, what else do you want to do? If I have gun with me and these people are coming, if I have the opportunity, I will shoot, but I don't have gun. If I want to go and collect gun now, they will ask me to come and fill form, and they will ask me to that I don't have right to hold gun because I'm not trained as a military man. So the problem is that the foundation is wrong, and any foundation that is wrong and is not well laid, there will be problem anywhere in the future. We have been together in peace before, but now what we are seeing is different. So we want our brother from the north to tell them that we in the Yoruba part of the country, we want to go our own way. We will manage whatever resources we have to secure our land and to be in peace with everybody. And we can still be doing things together, just as someone said. Yes, if we come to your land, we can establish business there. We will follow your rules and regulations. That is what we also do in Yoruba land. Anybody want to stay with us, he will follow the rules and regulations of Yoruba land. Like anybody that want to move to the eastern part of the country, we follow the rules and regulations of the eastern part of the country. So God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ojo. Nze Ike, I can see your hand up, but I know you've spoken before. I don't know if you want to speak again or it's just a mistake. Nze Ike. Nze Ike.
Yeah, thank you. Please, I want to thank the two Yoruba guys, the Mr. Sei and the last one. They just helped me somehow. This our brother, there's one guy there, our brother, I don't know his name. I want to use this opportunity, though I respect his opinion, but his argument is very, very uncomfortable for Ndigbo. I have to tell him this. Last time he said something, I and the Tango wanted to come. You saved the day. So today he's coming again. I think he must be more than 45 years old, and he's still praying that Nigeria will be good. Yeah, very soon now you enter 60, 70 and die, and push the problem for the next generation. He's arguing with us here. I think he is learned but not educated. That's the way I can qualify him. He's always coming with this argument of one Nigeria. So should we be hoping Nigeria will be good until they kill all of us? I don't know where he's coming from. I think this kind of argument from him is very, very disheartening to we the Igbos. I don't know where he's coming from. That's what I want to say. And the Commodore, I don't know if the Commodore is a title or merit. But if he's a Commodore, he should know that in Uguta, there is oil in Uguta, and this is Imo State. He should know that. There is oil now being mined in Anambra State. He should know that. Why, if the Easterners don't have oil, why are we in the oil producing areas? Why? So he should get back to get correct before coming to push any argument. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Remember that you're in a public forum, and please, we have to mind our language while expressing our opinions. Comrade Sani Said, yes, I saw your hand up a long time ago, and finally, it's your turn.
I will suggest that we call Pamson, if you don't mind. Maybe Pamson has been raising his hand. I mistakenly put it down, so sorry.
Okay, let's hear from Comrade Sani. His hand has been up, and finally, it's his turn to speak. Then after him, we can have the person you just mentioned. Comrade Sani. Comrade Sani. Okay, I don't think he's here.
It's coming.
Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the first time you didn't unmute me while you are permitting me to speak.
Oh, I'm
So
sorry
I just
about
want
that.
to make some clarification. You know, a certain speaker made mention that North doesn't like the country to separate because we don't have oil and we depend on the South for oil. So that's why I made that statement. I am not saying that the Southeast and the Southwest doesn't have resources in form of mineral or solid. They do have. But what he was insinuating was that we, the Northerners, doesn't have any oil. So that's why I had to tell him that if he is talking on oil, both the Southwest and the Southeast per se doesn't have oil in commercial quantities. And even if they have, it is not yet resourceful or used, you know. And let me even inform him of something. Of recent, North oil is discovered in the north, in Bauchi and Borno and Gombe area, the south, the northeast. Oil is discovered, but it is not yet, you know, in the refining process or stage, but it is discovered. So this is on this issue. And another person made mention of the issue of causing trouble. I am not saying that if the country is to be divided, there's going to be trouble. No, what I am saying is if we are going on our separate ways, then we don't need to use mayhem to achieve that. We don't need to use force. We need to use trouble to achieve the separation. We can go on in our separate ways peacefully. And more so, I am not insisting that we keep staying. Please underline this word, mark this word. No, I am not saying. That is why the North is currently pushing for the separation in a court of law. Someone made mention that Fulani are causing all form of trouble in the Southwest. You should know that these Fulani are not only causing trouble in the Southwest or Southeast alone. In fact, what we are facing in the North is far, far much worse than what you are seeing over there. Have you ever had in the South where
Comrade, I don't know if it's just me, but I can't hear you again.
Can you hear me, please?
It's very low. I don't know if it's just me, but
can you hear me now, please?
Yes.
Yes,
can you
go
hear
ahead.
me?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And okay, thank you. It's something that just came up. So someone was saying Fulani are causing trouble all over the South. It is not a problem. The Fulani are not the problem of the Southwest. They are the problem of the entire Nigeria. How many times have you come across news that Fulani kidnapped hundreds of students in the Southwest? What about in the South, in the North? Every day, schools are closed. We are afraid of these bandits. So it is a national problem. It is a national phenomena. No one is saying that the Fulani owns the country, but it is a mayhem that we need to come together and solve. And let me tell you this, a criminal is a criminal from whatever tribe or religion he or she comes from. So believe me that the Fulani are causing problems all over the North. My state, Kaduna, is not exempted. How many times the Fulani even went to the extent of taking university student hostage? So many schools are closed. Go to Niger State. Have you ever thought of what is happening in Niger State? So believe you me, it is not only your problem. This is our general problem. Another person made mention that the Yoruba leaders in the National Assembly and on governors are not doesn't have the lever or the capabilities to say your demand there. So why not remove them and put others that are capable enough? This is my response to you. You that
Thank you very much.
are capable, you know, of doing that. Please contest or gather your people, you know, that share your same ideology with you, and make sure that you change the narrative. I think this is my own take.
Thank you very much, Comrade Sani. Now we are almost out of time. Even the extension we gave, it seems it's not going to be enough. So I'm just going to ask the people I'm going to mention your names now to please try their best to be brief, not to repeat what others have said. If you know you want to repeat something, just kindly put it in the comment section and everybody can read it there. But please, we are out of time. So I'm just going to call the next person now, Pamsin. Pamsin, if you're here,
yeah, I hope you
try
can hear
your
me.
best to be as brief as possible. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think I will be brief. First and foremost, I wish to appreciate Dr. Nwebeze. I always get enriched when he is going the history lane. And I think today I got something that I needed, and I appreciate that. Now, coming back to the topic in question, I think Said has been fair to us. He is very clear that the way other people want to secede is a bit harsh. And the North has a much more classical approach to the secession. They are in court. I think that is a very vital information. Why don't Ninas, other ethnic nationalities that want to secede, let's go and join in that particular case in court. And then let's see where that will drive us. I think that is a positive dimension. I think we should be able to go. True, many Northerners will tell you, yes, we are interested in the secession, no problem. The Director of Publicity and Advocacy, Dr. Hashim Baba Ahmed of the Northern Elders Forum, in one of his broadcasts, very clear and straightforward, that the North will not fight against the Igbos if they want to secede. That is a clear signal. So why don't we look at those approach and face it if secession is what people want? But the question I would have loved to ask Said is that when he refers to North, is he including the Northern Christian minorities? Because that is a big question. I would have loved to have a good answer to that. Finally, clearly, the Fulani is the issue. And he has rightly, Said has rightly said the same thing. So why don't we face that part and deal with it? Because government don't seem to be fair when they are approaching that. I think that's the thing I need to say. I hope I didn't take much of your time. Thank you. Hello? Hello?
We thank you very much, Pamson. That's very brief and succinct the way we want it. I wish every other person who wants to speak will toe your line and simply make their presentation in a very brief and succinct manner.
Thank you very much. Emmanuel, you're next. You have
Hello.
just please let's try to, because we do not have time. I will still have not Dr. Emmanuel. Emmanuel, just Emmanuel.
Yes.
Emmanuel.
Hello, can you hear me?
Same person. Go ahead.
It's the same person. Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for allowing me to speak here. I just want to speak to my northern brother. I'm calling from the UK, and I'm a doctor. I grew up in the North. I speak Hausa better than Yoruba. I'm a Yoruba man. Now, let me explain a few things to him that he doesn't understand. In the first instance, the North is predominantly Christians, and those who are being killed in the North are not Fulanis. The people who are killed in the North are indigenous Northerners, both Muslims and Christians. They have existed side by side with Yorubas, with Igbos for several thousand years. The Fulanis came to Nigeria during the Usman Dan Fodio era in 1804. They are only 200 years old here. And they have been persecuted wherever they are, all over West Africa, and they are looking for a country of their own. That is the basis. I was born and bred in the North, and I'm old enough. Number one. Number two, about the politician, there is no election in Nigeria. The reason why the Yoruba politicians are not talking, if you voice your mouth, Tinubu is going to find how to remove you. There is no election. There was no electioneering process that brought any one of them to office. I want you to take it. They used a barrel of gun to seize ballot boxes. Okay? They used the barrel of a gun to seize ballot boxes. And you want to tell me that that is an election? Is it as easy as that to recall your politicians? Is it as easy as that? No. That is why they are not talking, because they are there on a purpose. Tinubu wants to be president in 2023, and he sponsored them to do his bid. And if you dare go against him, he's going to recall you. Number two. Number three, I want you to understand that all the people in Abuja, the politicians and the senators and all of them, they are all one and the same people. People who earn 35 million per month. Do you want to tell me that they want Nigeria to break up? So if you want to get the real reflection of what the indigenous Nigerians are saying, go to the various people groups. Forget about the politicians in Abuja. Forget about the nonsense constitution that made the North a head over people. The whole Nigerian institution is governed by Fulani. The man who is talking, are you ashamed of that? When you know Fulanis are the minorities in Nigeria, are you ashamed in a country of 256 people? Yoruba people have existed for 13,000 years in the Southwest. Google it. Look for Iwoeleru, I-W-O, E-L-E-R-U. They found a human skull there that was 13 in Ondo State, 13,000 years old by Caucasians. We didn't come in the year 1804 to Nigeria. And we've lived there all our lives. We've lived side and side by the Igbo people, by the Edo people. We weren't killing ourselves. That's another thing. Now, Herodotus mentioned it in about 255 BC, before the times of Jesus Christ. He mentioned Ile-Ife as one of the four towns, one of the four ancient countries that controlled Africa. We are not fighting the Fulani people. We are not fighting the Igbo people. We lived peacefully side by side. Now, let me explain something to you. If the whole Nigerian institution is controlled by the Fulanis, you should be ashamed of that. I'm talking to the Fulani man. Ni Hausa ni Naje Hausa Naje Hausa Namaje Hausa Nabi Yoruba Naje Hausa Awamana Yapi na Yoruba. I speak better Hausa than a Yoruba man. I was born and I grew with Hausa kids. They told us when we were young that they are going to exterminate all of us. If you are playing football with them, I'm telling you 30 years ago, they are going to exterminate all of us. This is what their parents told them. This is what their clerics told them in the mosque, and they are going to take, because 1804, when Usman Danfodio came to Sokoto, what he did was that one of his rabbis, his Marabout, was prophesying, and they said that they were going to take over Nigeria. It's written in the archive. They are all secretly running that template. Let me say one other thing. Abdulaziz Suleiman, the man who is the speaker of the group that sued the federal government to the court asking for a referendum, tell him to take to the streets, tell him to not to sue. All these are just shenanigans, they are deceptions. Now, let me tell you another thing again, that
Dr. Emmanuel, I'll have to cut you short. You have to round up.
Okay,
There's no time.
Now, the last thing, no one bandit had been arrested. Why is your federal government, I'm talking to the Hausa man, after Mazinam Dikanu, why are they after Igboho? Why have they not arrested one single bandit? Why are they rehabilitating terrorists and putting them into the Nigerian military? You should be ashamed of yourself. Now, the last thing I want to say is that you said there's no oil in the South-South. Let me explain the oil blocks of Nigeria. 80% of the oil of Nigeria is found in the South-South. The remaining 20% is found between the Southwest and the Southeast. Igbo people have oil, 8%. Yoruba people have oil in Ondo State. Where Dangote is building a refinery, the oil is being piped to refine. Where is it coming from? It's coming from Ondo State. Lagos State has oil. Now, the 80% of oil in the South-South, do you know that about 35% is from Ishekiri? Ishekiri are Yoruba people, okay? Don't think that the Igbo people will succeed, the Yoruba people will succeed, then we'll leave you with the South-South so that you can keep enjoying their oil. Majority of the oil in the South-South is owned by Hausa people. That's a shame. Lagos Port.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel.
Taken over by Hausa people, and you are here telling us nonsense. Go and tell your another. Thank
you very much, Dr. Emmanuel. I appreciate your contribution. There is no time, and we'll still have to allow Dr. Otunba to round up. So I'm just going to take the last contributor, Princess P. Please, the other hands can make their comments at the at the comment section, and we'll be able to read them. Princess P. Princess P, if you're not here, I'm going to move on to the next person.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah,
good evening. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening to everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. I can see this is my first time I'm joining this group, and I can see that people that have been talking, they are a man, which I really appreciate the privilege you gave me. What I just want to say is, I feel like to speak in my own dialect, because when I say this Zoom, I believe it needs to do with the agitation towards Yoruba nation that we are trying to do. But I will try my best to say what I want to say in English. What I want to say in a nutshell is, as long Nigeria call themselves the giants of Africa, they are still acting, or that country is still under injustice. Definitely, the country is going to be split. We need to split. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Where we are not safe in our own land, we need to split. When we split, it doesn't mean that we are enemy to each other. Look at what is happening now. We don't have, you believe we don't have anything to defend ourselves. You not people, you got AK-47, you got AK-49, and you are terrorizing the rest of the country. And you still want us to be under canopy. It cannot work. It cannot work. Because the country, that's constitution is there, but it's working for one part of the nation, and it doesn't work for the other part of the nation. Definitely, we need to split, whether you like it or not. And because of what you believe you have as gun, as whatever.
Princess P, I don't know.
Hello? Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Because of what you have, that's why you believe that anybody that talk, you need to shut them down. You need to kill them. Innocent blood is everywhere, which even we don't understand who's ruling in that country at the moment. Because people vote Buhari into the power. The only person that's operating now is Femi Adesina, is Shehu Gaba, is everywhere. And we don't know who is who on the seat at the moment. So I don't know the reason why they are chasing Nnamdi Kanu, why they are chasing Sunday Igboho, why Gumi is having being intermediary between the bandits and the government. And you are saying your constitution is working. Anybody that says Nigeria can work in this 24/7 we have, that person is a thief. That person is a murderer. That person is a corrupt person. Nothing working in that country, and nothing can't work. Enough is enough. Let's separate. Let's go on our own way. If you want to do any business with us, we are ready. And when we come to you as well, we love to do anything with you. You're ready to do business with us. We will join you. Enough is enough. 60 years, we cannot show nothing to show for it with everything that God gives to that country. Some people, they're full of corruption. I'm talking about politicians everywhere. They are sharing money up and down. What's going on? What's
Thank
really
you very
going
much,
on?
Princess P. Thank you so much, Princess P. I can feel your frustration. I can feel your emotions from what you just said. And like I said, you are going to be our last comments for the day. But before we go, we have to give room for Otunba to round up. Otunba, you've heard the sentiments, you've heard the comments, you've heard the questions. Kindly say a word before we round up.
Let me quickly say, because I can see some people are leaving. Please, when we end this segment by 9 p.m., you are free to stay on. We are going to have a similar discussion to this that will be freer and not recorded for us to have a heart-to-heart chat. That one will last for about 30 minutes. So when we end this session by 9 p.m., please stay on if you want to. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elombah Television. Otunba, I know you are still among the participants. Kindly say a word or two before we round off.
Did you ask him to unmute?
Yes, I did. I think so. Okay, let's try that again.
Oh,
Otunba?
Yes.
Okay.
I am so happy to be your guest and also be guest of everybody here tonight. And I will tell you why I'm very happy. I'm also in this business of media thing. The large number of comments and not questions clearly say to me that people agree with what I've said. And that is the truth. Because I repeatedly ask people to challenge me, ask questions, and probably I will have not been able to answer some of their questions. Thank God, most of them are affirmation, people believing and agreeing with what I say. But I want to use a couple of minutes left to say this to everybody. And I want, please, the remaining people left here to please take this home. To please take that. So what did you take away from the special interview with Otunba Oseine on Elombah TV, a very prominent indigenous television? Now, let me start by saying I heard everything everybody said. I do make notes. The only one that really shocked me, I must say, is when one of our viewers, is also a regular contributor on this station, said there's no marriage. I use marriage, I alluded to it as an example of a relationship. I wasn't saying marriage, but then again, even if I told you I want to use the word marriage, we have a relationship. We're supposed to have a relationship with everybody. Governance is about managing relationships. Governance is about providing services and protecting lives and properties. We don't have that in Nigeria. Again, maybe another opportunity will come. I want to be challenged. We have a case, years on now, that people have chosen to carry AK-47 in the process of that they're rearing cattle and so on and so on. Thousands of people have been killed, maimed, and destroyed. Property has been destroyed. And again, I want to be challenged. If we have ever have one of these perpetrators of atrocities been stopped or been arrested and shown to the whole world, none. All this all together put is about injustice. And when I opened presenting my case, I remember very well that none of what I want to say here tonight should be misconstrued, should be misunderstood as a kind of agitation in such a form that what are they agitating for? I'm also surprised to hear from anybody saying, after 60 years of relationship within the North, South, Southwest, and we now find that the relationship is not working, and people who are now talking are not entitled to that. That cannot be acceptable. That's not normal. That cannot be real. People should understand that when you are fed of a relationship, people will speak up. People say in my language, when you try to drive away a goat, as if he runs so fast, but when he gets to the wall, he will turn back. Nigerians have been pushed to the wall. It's not difficult for anybody to understand. It can only be difficult for people who want to be mischievous. The truth of the matter is, Nigerians have been pushed to the wall year in, year out. And yes, I agree that most of the people that is making it possible are people from the South, people from the South, people from the East or Southeast. So I've not exonerated anybody. I'm aware of all these facts. And I know why some people still want to be president of Nigeria. But my argument is this: with such a full of false, flawed constitution, how can anybody make sense of it? nobody's, thank God, nobody asked me, is that correct or not? Because the situation is, as we speak, is we have a constitution that is not workable. We have a constitution that allows people from the South who can drink and smoke or whatever, transfer the VAT on their money to the North. And they are very happy to take it. I'm talking about injustice because my lecture tonight is all about injustice, injustice, injustice. And what can we do? What have we done? So I want to reiterate that these are the points I made. We have a situation where, listen, Lady Augusta, I kept so long to wait to respond, and I'm trying to pick them one by one. It's not another lecture.
Okay.
I can quickly tell you this is not another lecture. Now, all these are petty to some people, but they're not petty. Our values, we are willing to. I want to concede to my friend from the North, who said yes, we also want to go. I can understand, because if you look at what is even happening in the North, with Almongeri, I said it, the large number of disposable, I mean, how do you call it? The people that are displaced, they're not getting life. When you look at how every time the houses are burnt down, schools are burnt down, everything are burnt down in the North, you now ask yourself, are these, in the first place, are these accommodation or places for dogs? These are things. And if some people don't want to address it, people like me who come from the West want to address it. And I'm happy I'm not alone in that. So these are points I've been trying to say. Again, I was talking about values. It is right for the North to pick on an 11-year-old girl, make her pregnant, in another, by 4 years, he already had 2 or 3 children. That's fine if they want to do that. We cannot say anybody should not do what they want to do. I also want to talk about human rights. You cannot deprive human beings not to exercise their human rights. An average Nigerian hasn't got any right. That should not also be an argument. We all know that. So if somebody says there's no marriage, there's nothing, whatever, there is a relationship. A relationship can be seen in the form of a marriage or whatever. And if it's not working, we should allow ourselves to talk about it. And again, like I said, the word that the South don't know what they're doing, they are creating distraction, that also cannot be correct. And I said it, their brains, Nigerians is blessed, the Southwest is also blessed, highly blessed with brains, opportunities, resources, both on the ground and on our head. And we want to use it. I want to say enough is enough. I want to rest my case. Thank you very much, Elombah, for having me.